Today, we want to really we want to get this started in the best of ways, and always is to have your local agencies come up, and we're very, very fortunate to have the two speakers to introduce us today. Mike Tooley, the director of Montana DOT, and we're very, very fortunate because these guys and gals are very busy at the top, and to have them here with us today is quite an honor for them to take the time out for this. I'd like to, have Mr. Tooley, the director, come up and speak to us just for a few minutes. So if you could give him a round of applause for taking the time out.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. I am very privileged to be here with you today and to welcome you to the great state of Montana, those of you that aren't already from here. Montana is a beautiful state, and you are in one of the best cities in our fine state to experience Montana. Bozeman isn't that far from places like Yellowstone National Park, which, yes, most of that's in Wyoming, but we claim it. But also, you have beautiful scenery just north of here, the Bridger Mountains. Who flew in to Gallatin Field to come here? Awesome airport. Many improvements have been made there. And it's attached to one of our newer projects, the East Belgrade Interchange, so hopefully use that as well. But anyway, when you fly into Gallatin Airport, if you come in on the Delta Terminal on the end, there's this gigantic picture window, and it frames the Bridger Mountains. And if you get a chance when you're going back, if it's an afternoon flight and you happen to be going or see the Atlanta flight coming in, it's a lot of fun to watch the folks get off the plane, and the first thing that they see are the Bridger Mountains that are framed in that gigantic picture window. So I think it's neat that you're here in Bozeman, in Montana, and I just want to welcome you. I also want to give you a little bit of background on Montana Transportation, our system, and MDT. MDT, like many of your agencies back home, is a pretty large agency, and state government here in Montana, we're the second largest agency behind only Public Health and Human Services. We're authorized about 2,100 employees, but probably also like you, we don't usually have that many on staff. We run about 1,900, and we keep some room available for things like budget cuts, something else you're probably familiar with. We celebrated our 100th anniversary in 2013, something we're very proud of. We made a big show of it, more than cake in the conference room. We had a series of statewide events and made a big deal out of it. And the reason for that is transportation is a big deal, but we're one of government's best kept secrets. Everybody counts on us, nobody sees us. And for one shining year in 2013, that was different. And everybody got to see what MDT was and what MDT was about. Our agency is broken into one headquarters and 5 districts, and it's a true transportation agency. It's planes, trains, automobiles, and then that transit thing as well. So we serve a lot of people. Montana is the 4th largest state in the nation, but barely has 1 million people in it. And so us as a transportation agency, we have some very unique challenges. As a result, we're a heavily federally funded program. 87 cents of every dollar we spend on construction in this state is federally funded. So I'm glad our partner from Federal Highways is here today. We love Kevin, and we love it when the transportation bill is passed and that money comes down to us so we can do good things. The thing is, there's more and more pressure on our state fund, just like it is probably for you at home. That's where most of our maintenance is done, is out of the State Highway Trust Fund, and that also hasn't been raised since 1993. So if you do the math and if you have a budget at home, you realize, just like we do, that at some point the math just doesn't work out anymore. And we're coming to that point to where Montana has to make more smart choices and be very deliberate in how we deliver the program. We have 25,000 of lane miles of highway to preserve, and much of that is World War II design. It's in a climate that is pretty unforgiving. You're here in October. It's a nice October. Be glad. Montana is known for, at least east of the Continental Divide, of sub-zero temperatures for extended periods of time. And then in the summer, it's not unusual to have 100-degree temperatures. So pavements that are maintained in those kinds of extremes are difficult. We also choose to build roads in a very unique area. If you go to eastern Montana, the soils are horrible. They're A6 soils. I don't know what that means. I'm not an engineer, but I know people that are, and they say that's bad. And meanwhile, in the western part of the state, we have a place that we're trying to do improvements called Swamp Creek, which is an old peat bog. And there is really no good way of building a highway. But yet, through all of that, we have to maintain the asphalt and the conditions to serve the public. Geography that varies to the point where you wonder why would anybody build a road there, yet we choose to, because that's where our folks live. The impacts of all of this are lending itself to a growing emphasis on preservation for MDT. That's our top priority. System expansion is not. It's number 3. It's system preservation, safety, then expansion. And so you folks coming here to teach us, I think, among other folks, is very important to us. The pavement preservation program is incredibly important. Funding, as you know, is an issue, and we've realized some things about funding through our experiences here. For one thing, we know we don't have enough funding now, and we will never have enough resources to address all our needs, let alone our wants. Short-term extensions from Congress. I was just working on an email to the governor who's asking questions. What's going to happen with the highway bill? Is that a short-term extension? It's very frustrating. Short-term extensions do not work well for long-term highway programs. And it certainly doesn't work with a long-term construction plan that would include capacity expansion. And also, we care about the quality that we have for our customers, and we want to stave off the system decline as long as possible. And we know it's coming, but we need to use best practices and the things that we can learn at conferences like this to make sure it's out there as far as possible. I don't think Montana's unique, and that's why these conferences are a good opportunity to talk about things that we have and interests that we have. When times get tough, and they are, it's time to talk and to collaborate. I just want to encourage you to enjoy your time here, learn a lot. Hopefully you all have some laughs, and then take what you learned home with you, as well as many happy memories. So I appreciate you all coming to Montana, and with that, I wish you a successful conference.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.